Welcome back to another Professional Picks college basketball video. Today we're previewing two Big 12 matchups that I like a lot for tomorrow, January 16th. First game we'll have is number 19 TCU at Cincinnati. It's really nice to have Cincinnati playing good basketball for the first time in a few years, it feels like. But the second game is going to be the top 25 ranked matchup, Iowa State at BYU. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're enjoying the content. Let me know what you're taking in the comments as well, but let's get into that first matchup. TCU is coming into this game at 13-3, ranked number 19 in the country, and just beat Houston by a point at home. On the other hand, Cincinnati not playing as well. They're 12-4 on the season and have lost both of their last two games. They have been without Aziz Bandogo and CJ Frederick, at least for the last few games. Bandogo the last game and then got injured versus Texas. But there's no question that their status has definitely affected their play, losing their last two without them. It does sound like Bandogo could be available for this game after hurting his back against Texas, as we mentioned. And it would be a huge advantage to get their leading rebounder back, especially against TCU. TCU does have some size with Ernest Udeh in the post, but he doesn't put up eye-popping numbers, averaging about 6 points, 5.5 boards. And this Cincinnati team is the 7th best rebounding team in the country. Bandogo, obviously a huge factor in that, almost averaging a double-double. Stats have dipped a little bit with the injury. And then CJ Frederick, he's a great perimeter shooter, started at Iowa, went over to Kentucky. Been hurt a lot the last few years, so his availability would definitely be nice for Cincinnati, but if he doesn't play, doesn't swing my bet in this one, and it doesn't sound like he will with that finger injury. TCU, on the other hand, they're healthy. They've been playing really well. Just played Kansas great, and then knocking off Houston in the last one, and then they play at one of the faster paces in the entire country. So it made sense why they beat Houston and just matched up really well in that one. And they do have a really solid rotation, going really deep. Even guys like Charles O'Bannon Jr. coming off the bench, played starter minutes before, now finds itself as like a 7 or 8, but really deep team on the TCU side. No necessary stars. Emmanuel Miller, their best player for sure, averaging around 16, 17. But after that, Jameer Nelson, son, he's playing really well. But despite all that, these guys don't shoot very well from the perimeter. But at the same time, they're top 10 in assists and steals per game. Just a very athletic group. My lean in this one, as long as Aziz Bandogo plays in this one, I really like how they match up. That's still a big if, and especially at -3 here at home, saying these two teams are even. If he doesn't play, I don't think these two teams are even, but that's how big of a factor I think he will have on this game. As you mentioned, top 10 rebounding team at number 7 in the country, and they have some really good size. And they have an advantage in the paint, both size-wise and then, but especially just skill-wise, especially when you add in Victor Locken, their leading scorer, can also shoot it from the perimeter. TCU, not a slouch on the boards, but Cincinnati should be able to mitigate their physicality with their size. TCU 300 in the entire country in 3-pointers made per game. They're not going to get the easy looks in the paint, and if Bandogo plays without him, I just don't think they're going to hit enough threes to stay in this one. Cincy hasn't lost a game this entire season when they've made more threes than their opponent, and it's really because they defend the paint so well. Monitor Bandogo's status going in this one. Take Cincy if he's in. Otherwise, it does get a little bit tricky because TCU has so many great players. Guys like Micah Peavy, we didn't even mention. Avery Anderson from Oklahoma State. I just really like the Cincinnati in this spot at home too. So definitely take a look at Profit of Picks on Twitter for the official play for that one. This next game, we do have a pick, at least for the video. This one, we have Iowa State entering the matchup at 13-3, now ranked number 24 in the country, winners of their last two, and also the first team to knock off Houston, who's lost their last two games now. On the other hand, BYU comes in also at 13-3, now ranked number 20. Beat UCF in their last game, but only 1-2 in their last 3, playing a little bit shaky. No notable injuries. That's why I do have a solid pick in this one. Not really looking at the guys' statuses heading into the game, but BYU 19-1 at home on the season, while the Cyclones have only had 2 true road games that they're 1-1 on the season. Ken Baum has these two teams at number 11 and number 12, insinuating almost an even matchup. So it should also be a high-level gameplay. They play at the same tempo, and they're also both top 10 defensively. I think where there's really a separation between these two is on the offensive side of the ball. BYU leads the nation in assists per game and also 3-pointers made per game. Tons of guys who could shoot it and just play solid team basketball, especially in college basketball. That goes a long way as compared to the NBA. And I just don't think Iowa State's going to be able to keep up with BYU's perimeter shooting and just overall ability to score in this game. Iowa State only makes half as many 3-pointers per game as the Cougars do. Tamin Lipsey, he's been great, stepped up. Doesn't quite average a triple-double, but he's a guy who could impact the game in multiple ways. But they're going to also need a big game from Keyshawn Gilbert and Momcilovic, the freshman, beyond the arc. And I just don't see all these guys answering the call. Play great defensively, number 2 in the country, but BYU also plays really solid defensively. BYU is the lean here at -3. That will be an official pick coming out. Not for sure on Cincinnati -3 yet, but definitely leaning that way as well. That's it for this video. Let me know what you guys are taking in the comments, whether you're tailing or fading. And regardless, if so, good luck to everyone this week. Thanks for watching.